That was worth staying up for, I can tell you that. That was worth staying up for. Woo! All right, let me, oh yeah, that's what that is. I was like, what am I holding? All right, let's see here. If it was anybody else, they would have thrown a yellow, a bunch of field up and got a green-white checker. I'm glad they didn't, but I would have been glad no matter who it was. Remember, I'm not a fan of green-white checkers, so I can have that opinion. It doesn't bother me. All right, let me go back up here. Okay, we'll start with the chats here in just a minute. I gotta grab my water. And let's make sure I got my screwdriver here so I can take some photos. You guys are just going to get the sideshow for now. I thought I was going to be able to stream through my computer, but monitor failed, so I'm still waiting on some stuff. So grab my water quick, and we'll get fired up here. Alrighty. Gonna be taking some photos. Taking my photos. Okay. Well, where do we even begin? Let's start here with our number one thing. First off, oops, there we go. First off, Austin Bullis says Nashville was the bomb. Wish I was there. Man, it looked hot, and it looks like a lot of delays. But looks like they got a good show. I'll give them that. Especially for those guys that stuck around and stuck through it all. Midnight Siren, yes, please. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Of course, they wouldn't throw a yellow because the Golden Child was out front. Yeah, they threw a yellow the first time, though, when someone lost a wheel. No, Balicki. Honestly, I think if you were to... the argument could easily be made that Balicki was already off the racetrack, so you didn't need to throw that yellow. But they wanted to spice up the show, and then at the end, it's kind of like the Blaney situation, where they're like, do we really want to throw another yellow and try to change the outcome of this race again? So, again, that doesn't mean they made the right call. It just means that overall, I hate green-white checkers, always have. I've always hated that concept. NASCAR trademark. No thanks. If it was anybody else, they wouldn't throw a yellow. They would have thrown a yellow, bunch of field up. Yeah, they probably would have. I hate green-white checkers. So as I said, I don't feel bad because I've always stood on that ground of I don't like green-white checkers. Once you're inside 2 to go, the race ends. Like, I'm fine with that. Got a lot of celebrations going on. Thought for sure NASCAR was going to throw that caution. I'll be honest. I'm not complaining, though, as a Chase fan. Yeah, as I said, not going to lie, I definitely don't understand what Brad Keselowski was doing trying to limp that car around the racetrack. Like, he barely got to the end of pit road. It's like, dude, hook a left and get behind the wall. Like, what do you think you're doing? You know, you're not gaining any spots by staying out on that racetrack and trying to limp all the way around. Like, just pull into the pits and stop. Because I guarantee you NASCAR's not going to care. They're going to say, good, get that hazard out of the track. So that's something NASCAR needs to communicate better when it's like, hey, look, we're at the end of the race. It's 2 to go, and you've got an issue and you're not maybe going to make it all the way around. Just pull all the way to the infield, find an opening in the wall, and get there. We'll deal with it from there. Like, it shouldn't be that hard, but yeah, it is what it is. Another rigged race. Yeah, no, that's why he had to survive that restart after he had already driven off with the lead. That was rigging it, I guess. Fire Ben Bayshore. Nah, as a Kyle Busch fan, he probably should have stayed out. It was his. I think Kyle staying out was his best shot. His best shot to win would have been staying out for sure, because Kyle's so good on restarts. But yeah, I do think that the best call for Kyle was staying out. Anybody else know if the siren is going off? I looked at North Carolina or North Georgia Sports link, and they aren't live. I'm guessing they will at some point. Everybody in my Discord saying it was a Mickey. I completely disagree. Yeah, well, as I said, you're never going to change people's minds. So Kyle Larson got it back up to 4th, so he had a good finish. Good on him. Rodney Childers screwed Harvick out of a top 5 run by pitting him. Yeah, again, I think pitting was the wrong call. You know, they got to see what Chase did earlier, but that was really aggressive driving along with really some good brakes. You know, it's not very often you get to the top of 3 wide and you move 2 rows in 1 corner. So, you know, it looked really good, but then it wasn't realistic. And that's why I like the call of staying out. Hey, it's 12 a.m. Go to bed, man. This isn't going to be a long review. This is going to be pretty short. But I just wanted to get it out there. Just getting our wins stolen. Well, he didn't have a winning car today, so IMSA 6 hour at Watkins Glen was amazing at the end. I didn't get to see any of that, so have to see it. Did they right thing by throwing the yellow? He got out of the way. I agree he got out of the way. I just don't like the fact that he drove all the way around to the backstretch by the final lap. Like, dude, what are you doing? As I said, I saw him on the front stretch, and that's when Elliott was coming, and I'm like, oh, he's way down by pit road. Like, maybe he'll hook a left and just go in front of into one of those openings and stop, and it'll be fine. And so then there's nothing to worry about. But then he apparently tried to limp it through the grass all the way around the racetrack. I'm just like, what are you doing? And it's too bad because Brad had a good run going today. So it's really unfortunate that didn't work out because it said it was a good run. Let's see here. Someone explained to me that I KB pitted. Yeah, no, it was bad. Elliott Road America winning? Almost. I should have it by the end of this week. So they're coming. I hope to see them. Well, it's 4th of July week. It might be another week. I know they're ready, so I just gotta. I think even if they ship this week, though, with 4th of July coming, everything slows down. So, currently watching this while at a Brad Paisley concert. Why are you at a concert at 11:30 at night on a Sunday night? And then why are you watching this? I mean, I'm not going to complain. The dedication is admirable, but should have been a caution there at the end. I don't know why NASCAR didn't throw the yellow because they did for the Stenhouse at Texas, but not here at Nashville. No, as I said, I agree. I think. I'm glad they didn't throw a yellow, but if they're trying to be consistent, that was way more of a caution than the Josh Bilicki incident. Like I said, Josh Bilicki was off the track and on pit road. Like, to me, at that point, I don't think you need a yellow. 8 laps to go, car blew up on the way into pit road. It's like, okay. So I'm okay with that. Like, if it blows up going to pit road, let it go. Like, the whole point is, unless it's unsafe to continue racing, you don't throw the yellow. That's supposed to be the standard. NASCAR has not been doing that. So I can get on board with agreeing there. Let's see here. Here come all the excuses for how Chase won. Yeah, they're coming. We're going to be 2-time champions, my friend. Yeah, who knows? This Chase could be... I mean, you saw Elliott's last 4 weeks were pretty bad. He'd have been out. So... has a 30-point lead. Well, that's good. I'm glad he was able to get that back up. Can't believe Allen didn't pit him. Looks like he finally learned his lesson. Hey, I think he learned his lesson. Unfortunately, it's not the 600, but, it's something. My cousin is watching. Can you shout him out? Caden. I think that's how you say it. So I am shouting out Caden. That's all I know. Do you think Chase deserved that win? I do, because he had the fastest car at the end. I don't know if he had the fastest car, but he drove the best race at the end. He did what he had to do to get the restart. Or to get the lead on the restart from Kyle. Drove really, I mean, it's annoying, but he drove smart, blocking the air to Kyle Busch's nose kind of consistently until it overheated the front tires of Kyle's car and it fell off, and then he could drive away. So, he drove a good race. I don't know if he had the best car, but he drove a good enough race to win for sure. Alan learned from Charlotte 2020. Yeah, that was painful. Denny Hacklin caused that situation in the first place, drove into Custer like no one was there. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens on green-white checkers. This is why I hate them. People just drive into each other because, hey, it's green-white checker. It's like, yeah, I get it, but deserved it, but not like that. Yeah, I mean, as long as the deserving driver wins, I'm good with it. I've always been that way. Larson deserved the championship last year. He did not deserve to win Phoenix, but luckily it worked out and he still got his championship. Because I'd much rather have the deserving champion than a deserving Phoenix winner. So, yeah, I'll always cheer for who I think was the, earned their race win. Like I said, I did not like when a random green-white checker totally changes it, but get that hazard out of the track. Race craze on Brad driving his wreck car around the racetrack. Dude, you quoted me. I literally said that. I was like, what is that hazard doing? Get off of there. I literally probably called him a hazard. I think you might have a mic in my house. I don't know. We'll see. Keselowski was able to get off the track way before the field came around. He was, but the problem, AJ, was I thought he was going to stop at the end of pit road. Like, he got far enough off and he was down by the entrance or the exit of pit road. And it's like, just pull off behind the wall there and call it a night. But instead, he limps it around on the access road all the way down the backstretch and around the racetrack. Like, that was where I'm like, what are you doing? That to me seemed really, really stupid. So, yeah, that one was weird to me. But I mean, at the end of the day, the race is over, so it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things, I'm just glad no one got hurt. I don't like seeing bad things like that. Remember this exact thing happened at Dover. Gibbs dominated, rain happened, and then Elliott dominated the last part of the race and wins. I mean, it's concrete is number one, and then it drives on oil. Like, if we're being honest, Chase Elliott did not have a bad car. In the daytime, it was not a great car, but he was able to move past people. Like, even after he said it was a quote-unquote bad car, he drove from 25th to 16th and was the biggest mover on the restart. So it's not like his car was junk. They kind of oversold how bad his car was. It was not a winning car, but it was not a pile of junk. And obviously they were able to make it better. So got a Byron Daytona 400 win in October 2021. It was the 2020 win. Got 2021 box. Interesting. That's really weird. I've never seen it when they do that, when they give it the wrong box. I have actually, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I got one right here. Here's one odd box. I will just show off because it's sitting right here, and I was doing some reorganization. This is a 2019 Elite box, but the car inside is the 2018 Sherry Strong Elite, and it even has the correct sticker. Look at that, 2018 Camry, and it's got a 19 on it. So it's not normal for sure, but it's not. I've seen it before. Drivers are fortunate to run the last half of the race at night. I am so glad that race finished at night. Nashville at night puts on a way better show. I think Dover at night could do the same thing. Dover needs to put in some lights. I think there's a city ordinance is why they can't, but Dover would be a wonderful track to see at night. Yeah, sorry, Universe. I don't know who's going to win the championship at this moment. It's just too wide open. I mean, you have nobody with more than 2 wins right now. Like, it is wide open. It's a different winner every week, So I'm glad he's running well. I think he's got a good shot to get to the Final Four, but it's a total, roulette wheel at this point as to who's going to win. While we're at it, everybody, go ahead and smash that like button. We're at 9 likes for Casey Kane's number, but let's get up to, I don't know, another number. Let's go with, let's see, there's 54 people in here. I assume 9 have already done. Let's get to 40. Can we get to 40? 40 is a high number, but I think we can get there. And when you do that, I will also be shouting out in the description below in the stream here is the link to the 164th, 124th ARC, and the 124th Elite Elliott race ones from Nashville. So I've already got them up and listed and ready to roll. So yeah, if you guys want to get if any of you guys are looking for your Elliott wins, use the promo code RaceCraze. It'll get you 10%. I think it's 10% off your pre-order. So should be the best option for getting pre-orders, at least on the Elite side for sure. I think there's a lot of people out there on the ARC side, so I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but for sure on the Elite side, it'll be the best. Alrighty, and let's go through the results here. So I'm going to do a couple more chats quick, and then I'll do that. I think Kozlowski would have pulled off the track at the end of the pit road. It wouldn't have been an issue. It was almost like he was wanting them to throw the caution. I'm glad they didn't. No, I'm glad they didn't too. Like I said, it's like, what are you doing? Like, at what point can NASCAR just radio down and say, get that 6 car off the racetrack? Like, pull him to the infield. That is something that it's like NASCAR has got to get a little better on that, because it's like nobody wanted to see that yell. I shouldn't say that. Fans of certain drivers wanted it, but anybody that watched that race wanted the race to just finish out there. We don't want to see another restart where all of a sudden, 2 of the leaders get together and there's a big crash and all these guys that had good runs are now crashed in the garage. It's like, we don't want to see that. We want this race to finish. We want guys that have run up front to get their good finish and kind of move on. So yeah, I'm kind of on board there. Let's see here. Great race, horrible finish. Certified Brad moment. BS. You got a Logano car in your picture. I can't even, man. I've seen Logano win 4 times. I can't stand his on the track style. He's I actually was at appearance last week. He's awesome. Like he's perfectly fine. Off track. He annoys me on the racetrack. Like, he's just my, I don't know, the sandpaper. Just rubs me the wrong way. Siren is ringing at midnight. And there's controversy. Is there really controversy? I mean, I think there's like petty fan controversy. I don't think there's real big controversy. Should have thrown the yellow for Brad, but since it was Chase, it doesn't happen. Any other driver was leading, we would have gotten an instant yellow. I mean, I would say maybe. The problem is you got to realize Chase was also leading when Josh Bilicki pulled into pit road with a blown up race car, and they still decided to throw the yellow. Like, I don't think that one had to be a yellow because he's already on pit road. Like, I don't have a problem with a guy that's already on the apron or on pit road that's blown up. It's like, well, fine. If you leaked on those two areas, those aren't racing surfaces. Doesn't mean you want to leave it that way. You know, if it's early in the race, sure. But with only 8 laps to go, nobody's pitting. So, you know, I would have actually rather had them leave that one green, because if this thing runs out to the end, green to the end, nobody's going to care. So, Kyle didn't want to pit, but then Ben Bayshore told him to pit, and Kyle wanted 4 tires, and Ben Shore told the crew 2. Yeah, Bayshore, I don't think he's going to be Kyle's long-term crew chief. I just don't think Kyle does not think. I don't think Kyle thinks highly enough of him. I don't think that means there's a big issue. I think what it means is, like, Kyle's noticing that, look, you're not making the race-winning calls I need you to make. Like, he wants to win every single race, and if he doesn't win every single race, he's not happy. So his next best option is, you know, he needs a guy that can put him in position to at least give him a shot to win the race. So yeah, semi-agree, but I don't want to start anything. Let's see. Aero blocking is dumb. It is. Don't get me wrong there, NASCAR fan. I am not a fan of the aero blocking. There's definitely a strategy to it, but I am not a fan of it. I think the entire concept of having so much aero dependency is annoying. So I'm not at all going to defend it. I do not like it. Is it 12 Eastern? It is 11:30 in the Central Time Zone, so 12:30 out there. Without the late restart, it's 2020 Kansas vibes. In a way, because you got to remember, like, it was definitely blocking the air for the first 20 laps, but by the end of it, he was pulling away. I think he was up to a 1.5-second lead on Kyle and a 3-second lead on Hamlin. So by that point, he was starting to pull away, and it really wasn't a factor. You know, why 2020 was so bad was because Harvick was so clearly better and just couldn't get by him. So it's not as bad as 2020 Kansas. I was there for that, and it was like, my gosh, I can tell he's there, but Curdy B. I wouldn't say that's his nickname. He's just Kurt Busch. They would have thrown in the caution if it was anyone else leading. As I said, they did. They threw it when Josh Bilicki was already on pit road with a blown up car. So, like I said, I don't buy the whole they're going to throw it for one guy but not for the other. Like, I think NASCAR wanted that race to get over with. I don't think they wanted to go into extra time. They wanted to get it done. So I don't think it really would have mattered. You know, maybe if there's, you know, a battle for the lead or something, or they've got a more interesting storyline, sure. But I think they just wanted that race to get over with. All right, let's see. Blaney recovered for third after spinning. Yeah, no, Blaney, I don't know if Blaney's car was good or not. I cannot figure it out. It's like bad luck mixed with some, you know, different drivers, and yeah, I don't know. I think Blaney was like a 10th place car and got third, so it's got to be considered good, right? Let's see here. Parker Klein says, hey, where's a good place to buy NASCAR diecast? Well, if you look in the description of this very live stream, shameless plug, RAS Diecast is my website. That is a way to support the channel. I don't do memberships or any of that kind of stuff, so that's kind of the way to support it, is when you do pick out a diecast that's new. You know, the website's a great place, but I have all 3 raced versions from tonight, along with raced versions that go all the way back to the Daytona 500, so yeah, those are all on the website, but use the promo code RACECRAZE at the checkout, and it gets you a discount. So make sure you guys remember that promo code RACECRAZE at checkout. That gets you the discount. So make sure you have that. See, I was watching the front 2 because I wasn't watching it on USA. I was watching the battle. Yes, no, for sure. So the 2020 Kansas race was pretty brutal at the end, because nobody was really able to make any passes coming down to the end, and then Kevin just being stuck behind Joey was just bad. I'm guessing in a lot of these races, you know, yeah, the front may get strung out, but the battling in the pack is good. Like, I heard a lot of people said they did not like Knoxville. I'm telling you, Knoxville was a great race. I mean, you know, outside of Brett Moffitt's horrifyingly bad penalty call, which ticks me off to this minute, but outside of that, the racing all throughout the field was good. I mean, guys could get runs. They could rip the top and kind of get past each other and run it down low and get a good run and slide jobs. Like, it was good racing. And I think Fox just forgot to show it all. So, you know, that's the thing, is the broadcast only can show you what they're going to show you. And if they don't show you the good stuff, you don't know what you're missing. Nice wall. Who painted it? Wall. This is actually surprising. You can see that line here. This is 2 sheets of vinyl. I got 2 pieces of white vinyl to stick down just to make it look better because it used to be a gray table. So I wanted to make it a little bit brighter, and so I got 2 sheets of vinyl. So not even paint, just vinyl. Let's see here. Is 150 for Elliott's 2019 Roval Elite good? Yeah, that's pretty good, honestly. The Elite for the Roval has gotten pretty expensive. Dover can't put lights in because of an airbase, despite the fact that Las Vegas has lights with an airbase the same distance away. Yeah, it's the state, though. State makes the regulation. So NASCAR fan says we need a third of the races to be at night. I wouldn't say a third, but I do think the summer stretch needs to be at night. I think, Nashville, Atlanta, who else has a hot area? Like, there's nothing in the middle of summer. This is when you want to have either night races or road courses, because road courses, there's a lot of trees. You can stand around. Like Road America will be great next weekend. Wisconsin's just fine in July. It's not super hot, and there's plenty of trees. You can sit in the shade, and watch from a hillside or something. So Road America's a good summer racetrack, and then Nashville should be at night, and Atlanta should be at night, and then Daytona is going to be at night. And then you go back to another road course, like the Indy road course, little hot. I won't lie. The Indy road course was pretty toasty. Or the Brickyard 400, but the Brickyard 400 is the Brickyard 400. You deal with it. So, there's different ways to do it. And that's usually in August. Indianapolis cools down in August. So, yeah, you don't have to have them all at night, but you definitely need to have a string of them because there's certain areas that are just not fun, It's becoming increasingly painful to be a Briscoe fan. He has so much potential. He just needs time. Yeah, that was just on Briscoe today. Like, I know people will look at it and say, well, Chastain was forcing the issue. Like, that's his job. Chastain, at the end of the day, he got out of it early and let those 2 race it off into the corner, and Briscoe just overdrove it. So, still got a lot of talent. He's going to be all right. I just think that right now, Stewart-Haas also isn't putting together the fastest race cars on the planet. At the end of the day, there's some catching up to be done. So I think he'll be all right. I think he's still looking good. I just think his win was more of a fluke than people think. They didn't put it on the live Dawsonville pool room. Okay, gotcha. Did it seem to anyone else that the lack of yellows at the end was an overreaction from the All-Star race? I'm a Chase fan, but it did seem a bit like poor call by NASCAR. No, I think that's the exact point. I think people are like, look, the All-Star race was such a quick yellow, and if it's not, again, the standard for yellow is supposed to be if it's unsafe to continue racing. Well, Brad Keselowski was far enough behind the field that he could have gotten to the end of pit road and gone behind the wall. So there's no sense to throw that yellow. And after that, they take the white flag, and the field's already past him by the time he's, kind of on the backstretch causing problems. And that's on the white flag lap. And it's like, do you really want him to throw the flag on the last lap there? Like, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Somebody gets turned sideways and hits Brad Keselowski going that slow, it could be a horrible wreck. But, it's just a matter of, I don't think it's a specific to a driver. I think NASCAR is just trying to not be the outcome. They're trying to let the outcome happen naturally. This race should have been called the Rain Delay 400 presented by NASCAR Officiating. Yeah, they should have started a little earlier and it would have been fine. But personally, I think this should just be a night race. The weather's better for fans. The track seems to race better at night, frankly. So, personally, I wouldn't mind to see it at night all the time. Yeah, I think you're right there. NASCAR, BASCAR people, I think they were expect. I thought he was going to pull off. I think NASCAR was expecting Brad to get to the end of pit road and pull off. And when you got to remember, turn 1 and 2, he was on the access road, so he's way down off the racing service. Like, he is well out of harm's way down there. And I think they were almost expecting him to just stop down there and let the race finish out. And when he continued to the backstretch, they were kind of maybe a little more caught off guard because he's right down on the apron. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, yes, they did do the siren. Okay, cool. The Big Lebowski says, did something happen to Bubba towards the end of the race? I fell like a rock late in the race. No, so he actually did fine. He had a good car. He got caught on a pit strategy that started him back in 23rd position on old tires because he had to take a wave around. And so because he had to wave around, he not only got stuck at the back of the field, but he was also on old tires, so he couldn't make any ground up. And so by the end of the race, on that last yellow, he stayed out and was the last car on old tires, and he actually only lost 2 spots and finished 12th. So Bubba, he did as much as he really could. He just, between the crew making mistakes and just getting caught on a bad pit strategy, you know, there's not much he did wrong in that whole night. A lot of that was just, bad luck and poor performance. Just got Clint Boyer's 2011 Cheerios and 2011 BB&T for a total of 76. Wow, that's a cool deal, especially for Boyer fans. Yeah, that 5-hour energy car is going to be a Bearcat to get. I would have been happier with the finish, Elliott winning, if they didn't throw the Bilicki caution. Agree. 100% agree there. I think they could have let that one go, just let the race go green to the end. Instead, it spiced it up. Truex ended up 22nd, Kyle Busch 21st. So it's just like, like I said, I can't stand good guys running well, getting caught by late race yellows and ending up in the back. I just don't, I'm not a fan of it. Like, again, it used to be really rare that stuff like that happened, and now it happens so often, I actually get tired of it. Let's see here. Didn't want to see a green-white checker and have a bunch of the deserved drivers get crashed out. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to see Keselowski get crashed out. Keselowski was running in the top 12, and I would have liked to see him finish there. And I said that caution with 8 to go is the one I'm like, man, if they could have just held their finger off that trigger, this thing plays out, and a lot of guys that deserve good finishes get their good finishes they deserve. So the last 10 laps were stressful. As a Chase fan, I can agree. It was like, oh man. I did feel more confident when I saw Kurt Busch was lining up beside him, because Kurt is not the type of guy to just overdrive the restart and drill you in the side and knock you out. So I did feel more comfortable with Kurt down there, just because Kurt's not known for dirty driving or anything like that. Like, I would have been far more concerned if it was Joey or Ross or just probably Joey or Ross are the two that it's not that they're super bad drivers. I just think they're willing to overdrive their car at someone else's expense, and I'm glad it didn't finish like that. My cousin named his son Chase after Elliott's 21 Charlotte race, getting him a Harvick car from the Brickyard. Honestly, that's hilarious. Losing hope for Harvick winning, I wouldn't, honestly. I think Harvick had a good car tonight. I think Stewart-Haas is going to make their gains throughout the summer, and he's going to win one of these races. Yeah, he's been running too well to not get at least one. Do you think that Lionel Richard Petty's 200 win? Oh, gotcha. Will be good. I don't know. Then Brad would get penalized. No, I don't think he would. If he just pulls off in there and stops, I think NASCAR just DNFs him right there. But he doesn't lose or gain positions. He's not going to get penalized for parking. If he gets down there and just like stops and gets out of the way for safety, that's not penalty material. They're not going to penalize a guy for that. I'm trying to remember who did it just a couple years ago. They had an issue and they just pulled off behind a quick wall, and IndyCar, they do it all the time. So I hope Elliott wins some more road courses, because I'll really miss the Road Course King name. I wouldn't mind Concrete King. Hey, Carl Edwards is good on concrete too. So, but yeah, I think Chase is still good on the road courses. Like, let's not act like he didn't finish 4th at Coda and then have one of the best cars last week or 2 weeks ago at Sonoma. So, I understand that, like, he didn't win either of those 2 road courses, but let's not act like he wasn't one of the better cars over the course of the last 5 road courses. Like, Charlotte Roval, he got wrecked and was still able to run back up and almost win that race. Like, he was better than Larson that day. Sonoma, I think he and Larson were pretty even, and then, they both caught themselves out on either pattern strategy or penalties. So, let's pump the brakes on the whole thing of like maybe he and Larson are washed at road course racing just because they had 2 bad races that aren't even really that bad. They're both still top 10s. So the 6 car was junked. Going 0 miles versus 30 isn't much of a difference when you get plowed into from another car if they had wrecked him. You're right. I agree. I think when they was down on the access road in turn 1, there's no way a car can even get down there. Like, the angle of the track just doesn't work that way. Like, you can't shoot across the access road and go hit a stopped car down there. So I think NASCAR was expecting him to just get down there and stop. Instead, he continued down the backstretch and was like right off the racing surface. I was even nervous for that. So, as I said, if he had stopped down there, I have no problem with that, because it's like you're just trying to finish the last lap and a half without having to stop the race. But yes, I still think the inconsistency is a problem. Harvick's 2022 Busch Light is coming soon. Oh, I'm glad that some of these next gens are coming out. Man, I still hate the number placement. Still can't do it. What do you think of the new Austin Dillon TV show? Yeah, I don't. I'm not on board, man. I'm not into those types of shows. So, Jeff. His team deserved to get cursed out. Whose team? Oh, Bubba. Yeah, no, for sure. I see who you're talking to. Yeah, Bubba deserved to fall like a rock. He cursed out his crew chief. No, his crew deserved it. He came in for a 4-tire pit stop, and they end up leaving a wheel loose and making him stop at the end of pit road and lose a lap. Like, that was a disaster. Like, at some point, you either catch it on a loose wheel or you don't, but you don't stop at the end of pit road. You're not turning around. You're going all the way around the racetrack, and you're bringing it back in. So why they stopped him when he was already down into turn 1 on the access road is just stupid. Like, no, they definitely deserved a little cursing out there. Let's see. Blaney will win Atlanta 2, fall Martinsville to make the Final Four. I wouldn't be surprised. I think Blaney's going to get to the Final Four this year. He has shown way better consistency, and I have issues with sometimes they seem to get caught back in the pack, but they seem to be finishing well and getting stage points pretty consistently. I mean, he's third in the points, so I like his potential to get to the Final Four just based on the round of 8 tracks are some of his better racetracks. You know, he's good. Well, I shouldn't say that. Homestead's now in that spot. Kansas got moved, so I think it's Kansas, Vegas, or not Kansas. It's Vegas, Martinsville. Excuse me, Vegas, Martinsville, and Homestead. So I should take that back. I don't know who's going to have a shot. Right. Bubba was a bit immature. Yeah, I don't blame him. I think he had every reason to be that frustrated. I'm going to skip to the bottom. I'm a little behind here. Holy cow, I'm a little behind. Living 30 minutes from Homestead. All right. So, yeah, I think they have a final or a round of 8 race this year. Let's see here. I can't agree with you there, Clyde Ryder. I can't stand the number placement. The numbers are too small, and then they're too far out of the way. Like, here's the thing. If they had put them, 2 feet back, so they're not really centered, they're still slid forward, but they're just not all the way up on the wheel well, I'm okay with it. I can live with that. What I can't stand is when they waste all the space on the side of the car and then just have the number crammed up against the wheel well. I think it looks terrible to have it that far forward. Like, if we're honest here, this car right here, if they slide the number forward a foot, so it's still got room for a row of contingency sponsors, then the number, and then you got a big line after that goes to the back. I think it fits fine. I think the paint schemes look better. I just think they crammed it too far forward, too fast. Denny Hamlin, Ultimate Fan, just received that Kyle Larson 2021 Elite today, thanks to my review. Oh, awesome. I was gonna say that one actually went out. I didn't know if it went out to you or if you just got it, but yes, it's a good looking car. That was the only one I got in. Somebody had wanted it, and so I picked it up. But I usually just do race wins. But I had said when somebody messaged and said, "Hey, I want this car," I'll get it. Let's see. What tripod have I been using? A trophy with a car stand on it. Yeah, my tripod is nothing professional. It's literally, the little cell phone holders for cars with a suction cup that sticks to the window. I stuck the suction cup to a trophy base and then turned it on its side. And that's my tripod. It's literally nothing special. Like, I can read it. It literally says I got second in a Junior 2 race. And so I took all the pieces of the trophy off and stuck that suction cup down and glued it. So yes, it is a homemade stand, and there is probably none like it because it's really, really cheap, and it just does what I need it. All right, let's see here. B2B in Wisconsin. Not sure what that was here. Denny Hamlin, Ultimate Fan. I have his 911. Oh, yes, that's a good looking one, too. Gotten used to the number placement. As I said, I've seen them. I still, like, I've seen it. I'm still not going to say I like it because the fact is it doesn't look as good. That's just how it is. It doesn't look as good. I'm not going to sit there and say it ruined NASCAR or go, super crazy like that. But the fact is, in the middle or just slightly forward from middle, the more centered, the better the car looks. And the further up or further back they push them, the worse it looks. And that's the whole point. Is basically just you can either slide them forward a foot, slide them back a foot. But when you push them all the way to the front, that's when it looks bad. So, as I said, they could easily move those numbers back a foot, foot and a half, and these cars would look a lot better. Look at Trackhouse's cars. Trackhouse does not shove their number clear up to the nose of the car. They actually back the number a little bit further down the door, and it looks a lot better on their paint schemes. Let's see here. Championship 4 picks would be Elliott, Blaney, Byron, and Bush. No, man. I would have to say Elliott, Chastain, Blaney, and Hamlin. I think that they score more points. I think I said Hamlin hasn't been consistent thus far, but I think he'll be consistent in the playoffs. Byron has not been consistent at all, and that's a problem. Like he won a couple races, but the consistency's lacking, and so I don't know. What race or what did you race to earn the trophy? Go karts. I raced go karts from ages 10 to 15 ish. And then, 10 to really only 10 to 12. And after that, it was kind of my own thing to have to deal. And I didn't know what I was doing. So I still tried to run a few nights, but I couldn't do it by myself. NASCAR wanted that race to end so badly. Nothing was going to stop it. It's a circus and they need big tents to move to the next stop. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think they definitely wanted the race to end. I want all the races to end like that. I don't want cautions at the end of the race if they can help it. Like obviously the Coke 600 when they're 4 wide and they're crashing across the start finish line, coming to the white flag. Like, okay, I get that. But realistically, I would just much rather not see that kind of crashing. Like, if they can help prevent a restart where guys are probably going to crash each other, please do your best to prevent the restart that's going to crash people. That's just my opinion on it. Will Chase win in Road America? I think he's got a good chance. I think he's pretty good there. I think the road course equipment is a lot more even, so he doesn't have as big of an advantage as he had last year, but he's still really good there. So it's going to be hard to pass again. I think the cars are just very aero sensitive, is what I'm seeing. So I think he'll be fine. I just think it's going to be he's probably going to have to punt on stage points and just do that. Do I have any Sheldon Creed 124 Phoenix wins? I know Circle B has them. Small business. Yeah, I can get one. I have the autographed one coming. For some reason, they haven't shipped yet, which is downright crazy because that was like a year and a half ago. So I'm still waiting on the autographed Sheldon Creed Phoenix wins. So I'm not sure if they're having trouble getting Sheldon in there to sign him or what. But yeah, if you want a Sheldon Creed truck, I can definitely put one on there. Just shoot me an email or something. I got Facebook, Instagram, and then the email. So either way, I just set up a link and do it that way. But if Haas gets rid of the 10 car and Cole Custer for Gregson, keep the 4 and 14, they'd probably be fighting for the championship with multiple cars for once. Actually, I don't think that's their issue necessarily. I think their issue is I don't think they have the right talent on the pit boxes. I think they need to put different people in place. I don't think Tony Stewart is as involved as he used to be. And so I think they need to get a little more aggressive with putting the right people in the right place. Now, I still think that you could get better drivers in there, but I think they've got good drivers. I think they're good drivers. I don't know if they're great drivers. I don't know if Gregson's the answer personally. I would honestly suggest look at trying to find 3 new crew chiefs as a whole. As an MTJ fan, I'm so happy they said he's coming back next year, even though he didn't win tonight. He still had the lead and swapped both. Yeah, no, I mean, he won 2 stages, ran well, was going to finish 3rd or 4th, and unfortunately ended up 22nd because of a late race yellow. And that's my perfect example. Like, Truex deserved to finish in the top 5 tonight, and he ends up 22nd. Like, that's why I hate late race yellows all the time. I'm okay with them once in a blue moon. But, man, I want races to just finish out where they're at because I hate seeing Truex get all these bad finishes when he's running well. He'd be close to a point lead if it wasn't for a couple of late race yellows that bit him. Let's see, going to Atlanta in a few weeks, hoping the surface puts on an interesting show. Dude, that needs to be a night race. It just does. Hendrick had a huge advantage at road courses last year. Yeah, no, they had a like world-class braking package that really helped them. You could see they could outbrake anybody getting into corners, and then they would rotate and get great runs off, and yeah. If I ask you to get me a car, is there a way I could pay you right away? Yeah, I mean, that's something I can do. I generally don't, in case it gets canceled, but if someone requests it, I am willing and open to doing those things. I just, as a general thing, it's easier to have a car get canceled versus, if a car gets canceled and you're trying to send a refund and then someone's not sure, well, why am I getting refunded? It just saves that whole headache. So, but yeah, no, I said, I have an email address, sales@RAS Diecast, and then there's the Facebook page and the Instagram page. Any of them you can message through. Actually, somebody messaged me through Instagram just last week and wanted to get all Kyle Larson's remaining 2021 wins and 2022 wins in ARC and some other Hendrick wins. And so I have him on, he didn't even put an order in on the website. I just shot him a message and said, hey, I'll have them all put together. And so, he didn't even have to fill anything out. So, but yeah, that's how it kind of works. It's literally just me, and sometimes I get some help from my sister. NASCAR needs to eliminate stage cautions at road courses. It ruins the strategy of making pit stops. 100% agree. I think it would be fine. I think it worked fine last year and years before when you had, guys like Chase and Larson. Putting those guys back in the pack and making them drive back through the field was kind of fun. But now that the cars are so hard to pass, I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't think you should have to sacrifice your stage points because you can't ever. I mean, look at Kyle Larson. His race ended by winning a stage. Like, that was just silly. Like, that should not happen. You are the leader of the race. You deserve to get your stage points, and you shouldn't have to go back to 25th position for winning your stage. That's just bonkers to me. So, yes, I agree there. Do I have any 2021 Larson Champion 164s and standard Hendrick cars 164? Yeah, so I have the I have one more standard on the metal chassis. I don't have any standard non-metal chassis. So I mostly in 164th already have metal, but if someone's looking for plastic, I can try to get a hold of them. And again, that's why messages are great, because I can always just reply and say, here's what I can get, here's what I can't. And that just makes it easy to make sure it's clear what's happening right away. So, all right, let's see here. As a Harvick fan who started watching in 2019, I really have experienced nearly everything a fan can experience in 5-ish years. The emotional roller coaster. Yeah, I'd agree. You're only seeing a year of a winless drought. So Harvick has definitely been close, and I'm sure Bristol was frustrating, so I'm sure that's probably the winless streak right now is pretty painful. But you haven't quite experienced it yet, because the only thing I can say Harvick hasn't had is the dreadful years. And what I'm referring to is like the years where your guy is just awful, like just sucking it up bad. Like, as a Casey Kane fan, those years were 2007 and then 2015 through 2000. Actually, 15 wasn't as bad, but 2016 and 17. Those were years where you were happy to see him running 13th. You're like, oh my gosh, he's up to 13th. He's not running in 20th. So you haven't had to go through that yet. But yes, for the most part, you've seen a lot of the other stuff. Clyde Ryder says, how can I pay you? In a few weeks, I'll message you on Instagram. Yeah, definitely. Just send a message through Instagram. That's the easiest way to do it, because I've got all the different options that I just have to message you with. So, as I said, that's the easiest way to do it. It just makes it simpler for, having that direct line. All right, stage winners should start first for the next stage. If we were to add gimmicks to gimmicks, I mean, I think that's the better way to do it. I think if you win your stage, you should be guaranteed to start first in the next, then after the pit stops. I mean, you won the stage, you earned an advantage, right? I mean, am I wrong? Like, that's just honestly my opinion. I think that'd be a good idea. And if wherever you finish the stage is where you start the next stage, because it was a yellow that shouldn't have been thrown in the first place. It's essentially an artificial yellow. And if you're going to do that, you may as well just not throw yellows. And all of a sudden we're back to, real racing again. Crazy, right? Amazing Cars 13 says, I'm back now, and I'm planning on going to NASCAR Hall of Fame this year or next year. Well, that's awesome. I definitely would recommend trying to go near a race weekend. Definitely try to go to a race down there at Charlotte. The Roval, I hear, is a great race. The other one would be the Coke 600, which is also a great race. Long race, but still good. So definitely recommend trying to go to a race while you're at it and go see some shops. Hoping if I would have a plastic, because I'm trying to get all the Larson's 2021 wins and standard paint scheme. Let's see. I think the only Larson's out so far for the plastic. No, there's a few more, but I think it's only the first 3 are out, like Las Vegas and the Coke 600 and maybe the Sonoma. So you should have a decent amount still available there. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that was that one. So yeah, Parker Klein, the dreadful years of Richard Petty, 1985 to 1992. Yeah, exactly. The years where you're just like, holy cow, this is getting bad. Yeah, those are tough years. I've been through a few of them. Clyde Ryder, can I pay with debit card or PayPal or something? Yeah, both. I have, again, like I said, I have all those options, and it's just easiest through the messenger, because if it's a card or something, I just send a custom website link. So, Elliott and Larson are my two favorite drivers. Hey, I'm definitely a big fan of Larson. Elliott's still going to be my guy. I would have to say if I had my hierarchy, and my hierarchy spans across multiple series. So my hierarchy goes Chase Elliott. Oh, yeah, it's got to be Chase. Chase Elliott, Brett Moffitt, Noah Gragson, and then I think Kyle Larson would be fourth. It's either going to be Kyle Larson or Matt DiBenedetto. I want to see DiBenedetto run well in the trucks there. Carson Hocevar, Larson are in there as well. So he's in my top 5 for sure, but especially on dirt. Like that's, I think, where I get a lot more rooting for him. I want to see him run well on the dirt side. Obviously, I'm a Brad Sweet fan because of Casey Kane Racing. Casey Kane as well. He almost had a shot to win this last week, so getting a little bit better on the sprint cars. Kyle Busch should have won. Yeah, I like your JK right after. Good to know. Can't even stuttering here. Good to know. I'll let you know the ones I want. Is there a limit, like 3 or 4? No, man. I've had people get up. I think I had somebody get like 8 or 9 cars, like big cars, just this last week. So I don't have any limits. It's just a matter of, I said, especially if you're paying right away, then it's not a big deal. Usually, if somebody were to say, I'm getting $2,000 worth of cars and I'll pay you when they come in, I'm like, let's make sure that you're legit first, because I don't want to get stuck with a bunch of cars that, aren't spoken for if I can help it. So let's see here. If I go to the merch haulers Saturday at Indy, would I find more than on Sunday at Indy? No, merch haulers, once the stuff comes in, it's in. Sometimes it sells out if it's like crazy popular, but for the most part, you won't have to deal with much of that. Like they bring in enough that they're not going to run out. That liquid color chase I have is my favorite one. I have because it's the only one in my collection that I have seen pics of. The Bowman throwback one is great in the teal. Oh, yep. I actually don't have mine anymore. I sold mine on eBay a couple of weeks ago. Trying to limit. Here, I'll even show you guys. I'm limiting down some stuff, doing some sorting. So those are all race wins back there. That's my computer. I was just getting that set up. I need a second monitor controllers, but I'm currently working on setting that up so that I can do a stream and have a webcam and stuff. And then got some Xboxes for playing games. But yeah, so I had to limit some space to try and make sure I could see everything. And I decided special finishes were the easiest ones to let roll. So I still have a couple good ones, but I did significantly trim that down. Atlanta being a night race for sure, man. It's going to be way too freaking dark or hot in the daytime. In Cup, Elliott and Larson. In Xfinity, it's Gregson and Creed. In trucks, it's Hocevar and Deegan. Hey, those are all good. All good guys to watch. Obviously, I'm a huge Moffitt fan, so I'd have to take Moffitt over Creed. The thing that's so frustrating, and it's not because I don't like Creed, because Creed and Moffitt are actually good friends and all that, but what I can't stand is when guys are more deserving for rides and they get passed up. Like, I'm sorry, why is Riley Herbst in the 98? Moffitt would be winning races in that car. Like, he'd be running well in a Childress ride. He'd be running well in a Gibbs ride, but the best he can get is an Our Motorsports ride. And no discredit to Our Motorsports. They built that team around him, and he's made them better. But, man, it's so frustrating when it's like, dude, there's a guy that has this level of talent. Like, give him a chance. Just put him in a high-end car for a season. But, I mean, look what he did with that 16 truck. He won a championship with that truck. Now that truck isn't even in the playoffs. And everyone remembers Austin Hill. He could win 2 to 3 races a year, and now he's in Childress equipment, and he won 6 and a championship and got booted. Oh, that's what irks me. Let's see. Also, can I get ARC? Like, I like ARC only. Yeah, absolutely. I said I mostly carry race wins right now, but if you have something specific, you just got to message me and I pick them up. So. Let's see. Denny Hamlin, Ultimate Fan. I'm glad Chase is your favorite because sadly, I don't think Moffitt will ever get a good ride, even though we both know he deserves it. Yeah, I mean, if we're honest with ourselves, remember Brett Moffitt was in that next NASCAR Next class with all those other guys like LaJoy, Chase. I don't think Blaney was in that. It was the second one. So it was Bubba was in it, and as I said, Chase was in it. LaJoy was in it. Was Larson in it? No, I don't think Larson was in it. Somebody else was in it, but he was in the same NASCAR Next class, or sorry, not NASCAR Next. He was in the same K&N class with those guys, and he was better than them, like, at that time. And I still think he's better than some of them. Like, if I'm honest right now, I think Bubba Wallace is not as good as Brett Moffitt. I just think that Moffitt's a better driver. I don't think Bubba's a bad driver. Like I said, obviously I'm a fan of Moffitt. I hold him at a very high level, but I think he's a better driver. He's more well-rounded. I think he's better on road courses. I do think Bubba's probably better at Martinsville and maybe some plate stuff. But outside of those two, I would take Moffitt in that car any day of the week. And again, that's no slight at Bubba Wallace. Definitely agree with you on hating to see Truex finish poorly at the end of some of the races. He literally leads laps and could have been higher in points. Oh, for sure. Truex could be close to the point lead. And that's, I mean, really, right now, we could be watching a great points battle. I mean, coming into this race, I want to say there were 5 cars within a shot of the points lead. And I think within 2 races was like most of the top 10. Like, this was one of the closest point battles we've seen in a long time. And with stage racing on top of that, it's just unfortunate that we're not getting to see this point battle play out because it doesn't matter. So that Bowman liquid throwback will be the next Elliott Baja Blast. I think it might be. I think the Elliott Baja Blast is always going to be super popular because of the Mountain Dew sponsorship with it. Ally is not exactly a huge like sponsor thing. Like, I have every Mountain Dew car. I'm a Mountain Dew guy. Ally is a bank. I don't give a rip. It's that brand loyalty is higher. So I think that might cause it too. I got that chase for $29.99 at Colorado Diecast for the NASCAR color. Oh, let's see. Oh, wait, what? I think I read that wrong. Let's see. Austin says Xfinity number 1, Noah Gragson. Number 2, Ty Gibbs. Number 3, Justin Allgaier. 4, Allmendinger. 5, Sam Mayer. Dude, how do you like Gibbs and Mayer and Gragson, man? Those guys are all going to be punching at each other by the end of the year. I mean, seriously. NASCAR Racing Fan 12. Who is the worst driver in NASCAR as a whole right now, in my opinion? Excuse me. It's a good question. The worst driver? I hate to do this. Let's see. The worst driver, I'd have to say most of them are in the truck series. Those guys just literally will hook left on each other and crash each other. It's downright ridiculous. So I would say the truck series wins all of those awards. In Xfinity, the worst driver, I don't know. Because Ty Gibbs is talented, but he makes some dumb moves. But we need a guy that makes dumb moves and is just a problem. Like Natalie Decker was a problem yesterday. She was a hazard on the racetrack. So I just have to say someone like that just has no Jussie Iwuji, the guys like that just have no business being out there. They're not ready. It doesn't mean they're horrible drivers. They're just not ready and they don't belong there. Like Riley Herbst, significantly underperforming, but I don't think he's the worst. I think he's just not deserving of that high end of a ride. Herbst's the only SHR driver I don't like. I said it's not. The problem is Riley Herbst did not earn that ride. That's, I think, the biggest thing. Like, I personally did not like Austin Cindric when he was at the 22 in Xfinity for the first 2 years. I'm like, that dude ran like garbage in the trucks and then gets promoted to the 60 car, runs like trash, and then gets promoted to the 22 car. I'm like, why are you failing upwards while guys like Moffitt are stuck in winning championships and then losing rides? I hate failing upward. Right now, in my personal opinion, in the Cup Series, that's Harrison Burton. Did not, in a single truck race, got promoted to the best JGR car. The best. The 20 car had won 8 races the year before he got there. And he goes on to win 4 races in rookie season. Good job. Like, well done. A couple of them are green-white checkers, kind of fluky. Some of them were, well-earned and all that. But then he wins none of them the second year and gets promoted again. Like, I'm sorry, Harrison Burton's body of work does not say Cup Series. It doesn't. And so that's why I have a harder time rooting for him. I want guys that earned their way in there. And it's not because I dislike Harrison Burton. Like I said, I disliked Austin Cindric at first. I like him. He earned his way to the Cup Series. I'm not like a big fan, but I don't have a problem with him in the Cup Series. He clearly shown that he deserved to be there. So that's probably my biggest thing is like, I can't stand guys that fail forward or fail upward. Let's see. Ty Gibbs is the next Chase Elliott. No, he's not. You got to remember, Chase Elliott raced against Cup guys the entire time when he was in Xfinity. And Ty Gibbs is only racing probably one of the weaker Xfinity fields we've seen. Like, if we're honest, look at Noah last year. Noah only won like 3 races. And this year he looks a lot better. Now, I think part of that's a crew change. But at the end of the day, like, I just think, Tyler Reddick won in the 48 car. Cole Custer won in the '07 car. Like, I think this is a weaker Xfinity field than we think. Moffitt doesn't have Monster to defend him. Herbst was a joke, but he has that sponsor. Riley has been far better this year. No, as I said, I think Riley's been doing fine. That 98 car should be in the top 2 in points, top 5 maybe at worst. And it's barely into the playoffs each year. Like, that's where I just think you put Brett Moffitt in that 98 car, that thing's winning races, and it's a top 5 car in points. So that's the thing that's frustrating. Let's see. The regular season is a good example of why the Winston point format was so good, and also why every other motorsport in the world uses it. Great. Got spam bots here. Hold up. I gotta get rid of some stuff. Ugh. Sorry, guys. I've got to get rid of all that garbage. I think I got rid of them all. Let me know. I think I got them all. At some point, I'll get some moderators. You know why we got spam? Because they see us. We are creating the brand. No. All 50 of us. They're just after us now, man. Thanks. I got rid of it, I think. I think I blocked it, so hopefully it's gone. Let's see here. Fastest NASCAR diecast, NASCAR down my 6th lane. Oh, sweet. Number 34, Michael McDowell, Daytona 500 winner. I'm actually hoping to do a downhill race course at some point. I mean, I've got all these 164s. I got some 187s, trucks, Xfinity, and I've always thought that'd be fun to kind of do the narrating with it. Because, I don't know, that's something I did pretty well with in like high school speech and whatnot, was just kind of that. We used to improv newscasts, so... I wish teams would be more focused on talent than their name. I agree. I think if NASCAR built a better model where you won your money instead of having to rely on only sponsorship, because right now the money you win for how you perform is not very useful. Like, they've basically said you're better off running 30th with a paid driver than having an unsponsored guy win the race. That's bad. You should say, I don't care if I don't have a sponsor. This guy's going to win races and he's going to bring in the money. Like, that's what you should be wanting. So hopefully they get that on track, but I don't know. It's going to take a little bit here, because that's the biggest problem. Is right now talent isn't rewarded for the teams. The teams signing the best driver isn't rewarding them, because if the sponsors aren't there, they're not making anything. Even if they win a championship like Truex, the team then shut down a year and a half later, because winning doesn't seem to matter in terms of the money. So they do have to get that straightened out a little better. NASCAR should have thrown the caution when Brad was slow. If anyone else was leading, they would have thrown it, but since Chase was leading, they kept it green. No, I don't think that's the case. I think they would have kept it green no matter who it was. They wanted the race over, just like, the All-Star race when Blaney had that issue. I think NASCAR does not want to be in that position where they're constantly doing green-white checkers. I think the teams don't like it because they're getting extra cars tore up most of the time. Brad Keselowski didn't like that late race yellow. He would have finished 12th. Now he has a wrecked race car and he finishes like 28th. Brad ain't happy about that. So NASCAR, I think they don't want NASCAR to have a quick trigger. But again, I do think they probably should have thrown the yellow, or at least if he had pulled off and stopped, they would have been able to let it go. But I don't think whoever was leading had anything to do with that. I race all my Diecast down the 6-lane Hot Wheel track. Thank goodness. I think these next-gen cars are going to be faster down that track, honestly. Because right now they roll okay, but when I had that next gen out of the box, it rolled pretty good. So those next gen cars might be the faster cars going down those ramps. Changes that have been made with Harvick's pit crew was crazy, losing spots every week to never losing a position on pit road. Harvick's crew is better this week, and deservedly so. Like, they screwed him last week pretty badly. I have a weird feeling that SHR will end up without talent and they will be not a good team. I think if Harvick leaves, they're in trouble, because Rodney Childers and Kevin Harvick are the only thing that have kept that team afloat for a decade. I mean, if we're honest with ourselves, we got to go back and look, because outside of that, you've got 2 Almirola wins. You've got like 4 Kurt Busch wins when he was in the 41, 2 Clint Bowyer wins, 1 Cole Custer win, 1 Chase Briscoe win. Like, we do not have that many. Oh gosh, how did they get back in? How do I ban them? Ugh. Got him, I think. Man, that's annoying. Have I done any reviews on this? But I'm buying Larson's Freightliner, 911 Tarleton, and the blue Valvoline. Wait, blue Valvoline car. Oh yeah, yeah, all in elite. Yes. I have actually the blue Valvoline car coming. I'll do a review on that one. I don't have any of the 911 tributes or the Freightliners coming in. So just the Valvoline blue is the one I've got coming. Dude, those spam accounts need to just go away. I can't stand them. They drive me nuts. All right. Well, we're an hour in. I'm not going to go too much longer, but I'm going to roll through our top 5 quick. It was Chase Elliott, Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, Ross Chastain, 6th, Denny Hamlin, Austin Cindric, 7th, Christopher Bell, 8th, Joey Logano, 9th, and Kevin Harvick, 10th. So Harvick still got a top 10. Eric Jones rallied and got a 11th place finish. Good for him. Bubba got 12th, which is less than what he deserved, but still better than what he was probably going to get. So Michael McDowell, 13th, 14th, Dillon, 15th, Suarez, 16th, Stenhouse. Reddick was a non-factor all day. Almirola wasn't much of a factor. Dinger had some moments. He looked good. He got up to the top 10 a couple times. LaJoy in 20th. Then here's where the guys that just got hosed, man. Busch 21st, Truex 22nd. Both those guys, I mean, had better runs than that. Brad Keselowski in 29th had a better run than that. Buescher had a good run going until they left a wheel off that fell off. Once again, a wheel comes off during the race. I don't know how many times you got to say this. Go back to the 5-lug pattern until you fix this. Because, I mean, that tire changer on the 17, they showed the pit stop on camera. He didn't have an issue. He did not think that wheel was loose. You know, he put the nut on there and he went around to the other side, and he did not seem to have any urgency to think, hey, that's loose. He literally just, you know, he thought it was on. And it went a lap and a half before it just flew off. So yeah, I this one lug thing with this many wheels falling off, I pray we don't have that at a super speedway. You know, somebody coming up in front of the pack on the backstretch, all of a sudden a tire comes loose, and then 190 mile an hour cars coming down the backstretch drill that. I mean, that's just a disaster waiting to happen. Do I have Kyle Busch's 2015 Indy win? I actually don't. I've never had that car. I want to at some point, but I've never had a chance to review or look at that car like up close. So I had a review of his 2016 at one point, and I got his Homestead from 2015, but I do not have that one. Got any diecast to show? Oh man, where do I start? I got this 1/64th metal chassis, so there's 12 in here. And I got 3 of those boxes to empty out and do some photos and stuff on. I got a bunch of them coming in this week, like the Glenn, the Larson Watkins Glen win, the Elliott Road America win. I want to say, who else is on there? Do I have an Almirola? I don't think I have an Almirola coming. I got a couple others though. So yeah, we got some wins coming. Fingers crossed. I should be seeing the AJ Allmendinger Indy wins here in the next month. And I can't wait to see those. I got the dual autograph because I was at that race. So dual autograph, AJ Allmendinger win from Indy. So I can't wait to see that one. I feel like Harvick always overperforms with the Busch Light Apple car. Shame it won't be back next year. Yeah, I mean, Harvick he's running well, and that's the thing. I think they're finding enough to be competitive. It's just going to come down to getting the right things put together to go out and win. KFB started riding the wall that final lap. Yep, another wrecked car coming back. Let's see here. Did you get the weird Authentics wave with the Ally 400 Bowman car, Denny throwback, etc.? No, I did not. I haven't gotten any Authentics for a while. I was looking to get a few of these Authentics because I know AJ's IndyCar was in there. So was Cindric's, and there was a couple other raced versions in there. But what was my opinion on how the NBC broadcast did tonight? Actually, fairly good. There's a few things, that could get cleaned up, but NBC is far superior to Fox right now. I think Rick Allen is their only downfall. And I say downfall like he's not dreadful, like you just can't handle it. But I mean, let's all be real here. If Alan Bestwick was in that booth, we would all be much happier people. Alan Bestwick is just the best. But outside of that, I mean, the commercials didn't seem to be super overbearing. Still a little annoying at times, but after the rain delay, they didn't seem to miss much of the action. They did a pretty good job of not having to go to a lot of those commercials. The post-race coverage on Peacock was solid. I think they interviewed almost the whole top 10, which was nice that they had a decent amount of post-race coverage with that. That's something Fox was terrible at, was post-race coverage. It's nice to be able to flip into Peacock and get to see an interview with Kyle, or not Kyle, an interview with Kurt, and an interview with Ryan Blaney, and an interview with Kyle Larson, and an interview with, the whole top 5. And I think that's nice to be able to get some of that, content that Fox was just skipping. When will we get the Allmendinger IndyCar? I'm not sure yet. I think they're coming in here, though, in the next little bit. Harvick's 21 Subway coming tomorrow. Yes, that was the other one. I forgot to say. The Harvick Subway car. I did get one of those in. I might or might not be making a Bristow custom of it. We don't know yet. We'll see. Where can I get the metal? Can I get the metal diecast? So the metal ones aren't on my website yet. I have all of these. Like everything so far is on the website. This newest wave will be getting on the website sometime this week. So I have to unbox it, take pictures, make listings, put the pictures and listings together on the website. It takes about a night. So it might be tomorrow, might be Tuesday. Just depends on how busy work is. But yeah, they'll be on there sometime this week. I have 3 of each of them usually. So I don't think I've sold out of any of them yet so far. I'm down to 1 on a couple, but for the most part, they're not always disappearing super fast where I can't handle it. So Penske is carrying Ford. Changed my mind. No, I don't know. Roush was okay at the road course, and SHR with Harvick was good at the road course. So I mean, I think on the bigger tracks, I'd say yeah, for sure. I don't have any diecast coming, but I have an LA Dodgers hat. Ugh. Sorry, I'm not a Dodgers fan. I can't stand baseball. I mean, I'm a Pirates fan. And so a small market team that just has to watch all their good players leave because they can't afford to keep them is so frustrating. Rick Allen is better than Clint Boyer. Well, yeah, they're different roles. Rick Allen is the play-by-play, and color commentator would be Dale Jr. So Clint Boyer has to be compared to Dale Jr., and then that is more accurate. So, but yeah, I don't think Clint is terrible in the booth. I just don't think it's his best spot to be. I think they tried to make him into a clown, and that just doesn't work. Like, DW had energy, but DW was not a clown. DW was a champion, a respected champion in the booth. And, when they brought Boyer in, it was kind of like, here's a guy that won 7 cup races, and, we're going to treat him like our clown. And I just thought that's a bad direction to start from. Will we get metal in 2022? I don't know. I have not heard anything about it yet. Gosh, dang it, they're back. How do they keep getting in here? I think I got rid of them all again. Is there a rumor that Dodge is coming back in 23 or 24? I don't know if Penske will switch back, but I think there will be somebody coming back. Got Truex's Darlington win elite and Larson's 600 win coming this week. Awesome. I actually just made my review for the Darlington car. I don't know if I posted it. I can't remember. But I will have it coming out this week. So I've got a couple of reviews made ahead of time that I'm going to be posting. Got a couple of Bowmans, a couple of Larsons, Truex's car. I think we got a couple trucks. I may have already done the trucks, though. I think both of them are posted. So yeah, we got some coming, though. So yeah, we have a few more of those coming. But anyway, guys, it is already 12:30 here in the Central Time Zone, so I'm going to have to sign it off here. I got to get going to work tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. As I said, if you guys are looking for any of the race win cars, check them out in the description below. That's where you can get see the link that'll get you to it so you don't miss it. And then I also saw they did a lot of confetti, so that's another bonus. But yeah, that's a good way to support the channel. And as I said, if there's anything specific you're looking for, all you got to do is shoot me a message and I'll get it all dealt with. So hopefully you guys are off to a good start of your week. I know I am as a Chase fan. It's a good week. So hopefully next week we can see more of the same. But I'll do a couple more here and then I'll call her a night. So DGKB fan says, I'm honestly confused on why most NASCAR fans are pissed off at Chase for winning when there wasn't a caution when the 6 was slow that caused. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. As I said, I think people just don't like Chase Elliott because his fan base can be annoying. I can agree. They can be annoying. But, at the end of the day, it's like he was going to win that race before the 8 to go yellow, and he was way out front on that 5 to go yellow, or before the yellow would have come out. Like, to say it's a Mickey win or he didn't earn it, like, come on, let's not act like this was rigged in favor. Like, he had to lead the final 40 some laps just to even be in that position. So, yeah, that's for sure. And then, yeah, NBC actually showing the burnout was nice too. So anyway, guys, that is the last chat. I'm going to sign it all off. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully in the next few weeks, I'll be getting the PC set up so we can do some different types of streams. Getting a little closer to being able to live stream races. I'm not there yet, but I will be working on that. So keep your fingers crossed. But thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you in the next, well, actually, we'll see you tomorrow in the next Diecast review.